Welcome back to Western Wilds.
On this trip, we're in one of our all-time favorite places in the state of Oregon, Steens Mountain. How's the view, Porter?
Is this fun, baby girl?
Unlike the volcanic peaks of the Cascade Range, Steens is a fault block mountain created by shifting tectonic plates. This unique origin results in a gentle slope to the top on the western face and a dramatic near-vertical 5,000-foot drop on the eastern edge to the Alvord Desert below. Should probably also mention that the entire thing is 50 miles long.
Steens is a long drive away from the closest population centers. As a result, it is rarely overcrowded and incredibly peaceful. If you do make the journey, please be respectful and follow all leave no trace principles. Pack out your trash and waste, follow seasonal fire restrictions, and pretty please be courteous to your neighbor campers. We almost canceled this trip several times due to a wildfire in the area that broke out literally the day before we were supposed to leave, and a dental emergency for Dylan. But ultimately, we made it down. Steens offers a mix of managed and primitive campgrounds, as well as a few dispersed sites. Due to the heat at the primary campground, we decided to check out the primitive options that were further up the mountain and a little bit cooler. We were instantly rewarded with an explosion of early fall color, which we were solidly not expecting, but really happy to see. Aspen groves hold a special place in our hearts, and we hope you can see why.
And there she goes.
It's just drives through.
It's a little exposed. Yeah, I think they should. More down here.
We're on an adventure.
I think this is where we were. No?
No. So are the other ones better?
The first one?
Oh, wait.
Oh man.
That's it.
I think that road ends. All right.
Okay, so
Left here, yeah. If you can make the corner. Yeah, this is gorgeous though. All right, we got the tundra pretty dusty. Moment of truth on the dust kit that we installed. You should go watch that video if you haven't watched it already. Pretty good. Look at that. Yeah, previously, before we got this kit installed, this would have been absolutely covered in dust back here, but that doesn't look too bad. Well done. How do we feel about the fan, May?
is it exciting?
You like the fan? Your mommy and daddy like the fan too.
So much like the fan.
Cheers.
Cheers. We made it. Baby's first camping trip. Worst places for babies to hang out. Yeah, so I made a corn chowder with chorizo and poblano chilies. We're gonna add a little shredded chicken to it as well and top it off with some sour cream. Hopefully it tastes good.
Nom nom. This is likely to be May's first successful camping trip. We did make another attempt a couple months back. Tessa and I didn't sleep very well. Ended up calling it at around 1 in the morning.
That is not an option.
Yeah, fortunately we're close to home that time. This time we are miles, hours and hours. So we're spending the night here.
No matter what.
Come hell or high water. And this is gonna be her first full night. Sleeping outside. Yeah.
chowder, chorizo,
Looking tasty.
chicken.
Wish you could smell it.
Smells good.
All right, there's the presentation. Complete with Three Creeks Mexican Lager.
It's tasty. It's warm. It's hearty. A little spicy. A little sweet. Yummy. I should probably stop trying new recipes in the woods, though. I've been making. May want some. Hi.
Every shot's gonna end with May. This campsite was just a little exposed for our taste. However, that view would not have sucked. Good morning. It is a beautiful day here on Steens Mountain. We have clear blue skies, no obvious smoke, lovely. Breakfast is cooking. May's chilling out in her cute chair. Yeah. Temperature last night was just about perfect for having the bags a little bit unzipped. I slept decently well, all things considered.
Nuh-uh.
Tessa, not so much.
Strong coffee.
It's an adjustment with the baby, May sleeping in between us, rolling over throughout the night, and camp and sleep can be hit or miss anyway. So, just something that we're getting used to.
You'd think I'd be used to a baby kicking me in the belly by now, but when they're outside of you, you can't sleep through it as well.
It's a little different externally, but
A little bit.
yeah. All things considered, things are looking pretty good. Gonna try to make the most of the day, finish up breakfast here, and get on with the journey, see what the day brings. It's breakfast time. Scramble action. Hash browns.
Coffee. Waking up.
So we're gonna air down a little bit today. I'm only gonna drop down to around 25 PSI. This is honestly a nice graded road, mostly with some washboards in that we wanna make the ride a little bit more comfortable for, but dropping to 25 will just take the kick out of those washboards a little bit. I honestly think that on YouTube, it's a little bit overblown when everybody always makes airing down the ritual. My general rule is that if a Prius could do it, you probably don't need to air down that much. It's only really when you're dealing with mud, snow, sharp rocks, that's when you need to go low. But road like this today, not that big of a deal.
Good morning. We are heading out there's some washboards. A little adventure today. We're going to drive to the top of Steens and hopefully get a little bit of hiking in, get a little view of the Alvord in. We don't really have a plan today. We're just going to go play and see what happens and try and not get stuck in a total rainstorm because it's very cloudy. I'll show you. Yeah, that's definitely looking like rain. It was starting to sprinkle at our campsite. Equitably rainy over there. So we'll see. But on the plus side, it's not 95 degrees, so we'll take that. All right, we'll check back in and see what we get up to. One of the really cool parts about Steens is that the Tiger wild Mustang herd lives here. Recently, they've been doing a lot of roundup of the wild horses here, which I think is a bummer. It'd be nice to let them stay wild. But as a lifelong horseback rider, I would absolutely love to see the Tiger herd here. We've been able to see some wild horses here in the past, but not the full Tiger Mustang herd. If you're unfamiliar with Tiger Mustangs, but you've seen the movie Spirit, those are the Tiger Mustangs. In animated form, obviously. And the little graphic going around on social media lately that the horse that it was based on just turned 29. That is, again, those are the Tiger Mustangs. So yeah, hopefully we'll see them. We're not obviously on like a huge mission to track them down today, but it's always, you know, it would be a dream come true to see them in the wild here. Somebody is quite sleepy today. I don't think the Dew slept well last night. He would love to sleep up top with us, but between mama, daddy, and baby, there is not room for Dew. And I think the puppers would probably try and sleep on top of the baby, which we don't want. So he gets a good car nap today. He's a good boy. Porter? Yeah, it's a good boy. So something we've really noticed about these campsites, we came down to this little recreation site, is that, and this has been a reoccurring theme in all of the campsites. Uh-oh. No, I don't want to join. All of the campsites save the main one, is that they're really, really tiny and really, really primitive. So if you're car camping though, like, that's it. You don't really have a chance to level. Like that one's got a badass fire pit, but you can't really level out your rig. Your neighbor is right there.
It's really overgrown and not
really, yeah,
managed. It gives it kind of a wild feel, which is cool.
However,
but it also makes it difficult for setups like ours to find a good spot.
Although even one like this, you're going to be hard pressed to fit more than like a single tent in there comfortably, at least. Okay, on to the next. Alright, so wanted to touch a little bit on, you know, this is our first like big camping trip with May, but wanted to touch base on what our mentality is for camping and overlanding basically with an 8-month-old. So far she's been a trooper. Yesterday she was a happy camper. She really only started to get fussy in her car seat at like hour 5 on the day, which is I think pretty good. But what we do is basically before we start the drive, we get fresh diaper change and immediately feed her so that we can get the longest amount of time out of her in between feeds. We also try and start our day with nap time. So if we can leave around the time that she would normally be going to sleep, then it just, everybody's happier, she's happier, we're happier, she gets a good nap in. Today we're taking kind of that same approach. We're trying to go and see the things we want to see in the morning, and then potentially get back to camp by nap time, or at least not be doing outside of the car adventures when she needs a nap the most. So we'll see how it goes and we'll update you.
How's the view, Porter?
We're at Tiger Gorge. It's stunning. May likes it. We've been here before, but we're glad to be back. One day I think it'd be fun to actually hike down in there.
Yeah, I think you gotta kind of start from the other end of the canyon and hike in would be the way to go. But
Or ride.
yeah, or ride. Even
Riding.
better.
That'd be,
Yep.
yeah.
This is the home of the famous Tiger Mustangs that Tessa was talking about earlier.
You have Porter in your beard.
Porter everywhere. But yeah, absolutely Stunning glaciated gorge. This alone would be worth the trip to Steens, honestly.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Earlier, I mentioned that there's not really a lot of legit off-roading that you can do in the Steens Mountain area. Well, that is not entirely true.
Got ourselves a little road and an oncoming truck who is also enjoying off-roady things. Yay! Our first potential little field fix to do on the truck here. We're on what was actually much more of a rough road than we anticipated, and we had a pretty good bump on the skid plate and had a pretty good bump on another rock on our front driver side. And after that, we started smelling what smelled one of those taste senses. Smelled like rubbing alcohol coming out of the air conditioning.
Sweet
rubbing alcohol. We have some service here, so did a little Googling, and looks like potentially some coolant leakage. Once we get to a good spot to stop, we're gonna pop
to the heater?
Heater, potentially, just coolant leak in general.
We no longer smell it.
Which is good.
For like an instant.
About 5 minutes. But yeah, we'll pop the truck open when we get off of this road and make sure we're not leaking major amounts of fluid, and so that the truck doesn't overheat. Yay!
After that smell, we're going to take a quick little look at the engine bay. See if there is anything obvious. Shield wiper fluid, good. Power steering fluid, good. Everything seems to be running all right, and I don't smell anything. So this might be a problem that we go and check out back at home. Do a quick walk around. Sure, everything else looks good. Got some brush scrapes. Got some tire flecks. Nothing seemingly leaking under there. I think we're good to go. Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, not that rough of a road. It's just been a long time, with the baby and everything involved in that. We haven't done much off-roading. So good opportunity to stretch those muscles a little bit.
We're also a lot heavier than we last were when we did some true off-roading. We've got a lot more weight on the truck, so it handles a little differently.
Yeah, that's a huge point. We have the bumper weighing down the front end. We have the camper weighing down the back. So just dynamics are a little different. We need a new suspension kit to handle the weight. That's going to be coming up soon, hopefully.
Are you calling us fat?
Yeah, we are fat, and we'll do another video on that later on. This truck is highly likely overweight, and we need to do some things about that. But yeah, good to stretch those off-road muscles a little bit, get used to it, and nice to get off-road again.
It was fun. I liked it.
Here, I believe it is deer season. We got a big buck just hanging out wide out on the open. Might want to run, dude. just reached the highest drivable point on Steens Mountain, which is also incidentally the highest drivable road in Oregon, at a little over 9,000 feet. There are 2 hikes you can do from here. One takes you down below there to a spot called Wild Horse Lake.
And we are not doing that one today because we are not in good enough shape for that elevation gate.
It's like hundreds of feet in elevation drop, and then you have to climb up shale to get back to your car. So we're not going to do that today. Instead, we're going to take the still steep path up to the very top of Steens Mountain.
Be pretty at the top.
Steep indeed.
Weighted hike.
That's Wild Horse Lake down there. We'll pop up some pictures from when we hiked this a few weeks back, or years. Altitude messes with one's brain. Beautiful hike. It is not easy coming back up this ridge. Adventure at your own risk. This whole area is just stunningly beautiful. Really hard to believe that this landscape is in Oregon. It almost looks more like it should be in like Scottish Highlands or New Zealand or something like that.
Probably Scotland more than New Zealand.
Yeah, just all of these ridges and glaciated valleys. And the contrast between the green plant life and the dark rocks. Little bits of snow hanging out. Could hang out here all day long and be happy. Made it to the top of this little hike.
It's kind of rude.
Yeah, it's a bit brutal with the steepness and the elevation, but
Gets your heart rate going.
at the top here, not exactly pretty with all these communications towers. If you have been to the Alvord Desert and have had cell reception, you can thank these. Well, the top might not be anything special.
But the view
is something else.
Special. Hello, Alvord.
At that. These rocky, craggly ridges leading down to the Alvord Desert Playa, another one of our favorite places in southeastern Oregon and Oregon in general. Pretty cool view from up here. Happy dog. What do we think, May?
Is this fun, baby girl?
Is this the highest elevation you've ever been to?
Yeah, Daddy.
Since you haven't been on an airplane yet.
This is fun.
Yeah.
We're having a good time. Yes, we are. She's been a trooper. She's been great on this so far.
She's doing great.
Yeah. All right, we decided that this is a good spot as any for lunch because the view is lovely. So this will be our first time using our new rain outdoor awning in the wild. It'll be fun to get this bad boy going. See how easy it is for Dylan to set up single-handedly. Probably not bad. Because somebody needs some shade. It's a hot pup. And out she goes. Yay! Tailgate shade. Perfect. And we can still charge our fridge. Huzzah.
Nice and easy setup on the awning. Got it in the Polis configuration. Don't anticipate too much wind while we're hanging out here. Not really giving too much shade to the sunny side because of the angle, but we've got shade on the tailgate, and that's what matters for lunch today. Is that right, May? So I've just about had it with this Goal Zero setup. Battery was around 12% when we left. We've been charging at about 60 watts from the alternator on the truck. And our output ranges from 6 watts when the compressor on the fridge is not running, to up around 60 again when it is. So we've net only added 2% over the last couple hours of driving. Oh, and then something happened that just knocked out the power from the alternator entirely. So this is not a good situation. We got food in the fridge that we got to keep cold. Right after the Steens trip, we did end up selling the Goal Zero Yeti 500 and buying the EcoFlow Delta 2 battery system with their new 800 watt charger. This is a pretty cool setup. We'll have another video coming out on it soon, so hit the subscribe button if you want to see our install and initial thoughts after our first trip with it. Look at this manwich that Tessa put together. There's gonna be like 6 pieces of ham in there and 3 slices of cheese.
You would be correct.
Great view. Only problem in the world is I'm not sure how I'm gonna eat this without it falling apart.
I have faith in you. Ultimate faith. You can do it.
All right, May, trip interview time. What do you think about your first overland adventure, huh? Yeah. Someone knows how to chill and camp in style.
So far, camping with baby is very fun. Keeping everybody clean is a little entertaining, mostly me, because she's easy to self-contain. That'll change the second she starts crawling. But so far, it's really fun. It's nice to experience camping with a small person and get to show them the world and the things that we love to do. And she won't know any different, which is pretty cool, I think. She's done really well. She's loved the hikes. She's gotten some good car naps in. And she's been a good little camp gremlin.
Pretty much just having to pack a bunch more stuff and
yeah, and
adjust sleep time.
Go to bed a little earlier, but we're tired, so that's okay. It's an excuse to get more sleep-ish. Yeah, I would mostly say, like, don't be afraid to get out with your baby and camp and travel and adventure. Like, they're troopers for the most part. Like, if you set the tone, they'll come along and do what you want them to do, and you just have to be able to support them for their needs with food and sleep and all those things. And if you set yourself up to kind of work around their schedule, I think you're doing your best, at least, to set yourself up for success. I can't obviously promise that there won't be some meltdowns along the way for you or them, but it's really fun to feel like you're doing the stuff that you love to do, and you have your little person with you, and it's worth trying. Even if you have a few fails, keep getting at it and you'll find the right path that works for both of you, all 3 of you, all 4 of you, however many in their family you are.
We run into people all the time who are like, we can't believe you're getting out. Like, I could never do that.
It's like, you totally can. It just takes thinking about it differently, is what I'd say. All right, we are heading home a little on the later side this evening. We had originally planned to stay for 2 nights, but we are just going to stay for 1 tonight. We had an amazing day today, and we kind of wanted to end the trip on a high note.
Yeah, we had a few things that popped up that made it kind of questionable to go for 2 days. First and most important one, we vastly underestimated how much water we needed for this trip.
Yeah, between me nursing full-time still and a certain dog child in the back seat, Yeah, we just didn't bring enough, and that was
We realized we usually camp by like a creek or a lake, and there's places where Porter can go and just like drink to his heart's content. That was not the case this time. So we got low on our water reserves, and we wanted to call it before we got through kind of our emergency supply level. Second reason being that the battery that we have to power our fridge is way low. We do not have enough power for our requirements these days. It got down to, what was it, like 15, 14% on the way out?
We need more power.
Yeah, with no way to charge it up on the way. So we risked
For the night,
yeah, coming home with potentially iffy food.
Well, iffy food for breakfast. And
Yeah.
groceries are too expensive. We don't want we don't want to waste the food that we bought.
Yeah.
And we also don't want to get food poisoning. That would suck too.
As Tessa said, like, we've had a great time and want to call it on a high note.
And we were going to get up early and eat and go anyways, so we might as well drive home tonight, take some showers because we would really like showers tonight, and not wake up half the campground with our baby screaming at 6:30 in the morning. I think our neighbors would appreciate that.
Yeah. But overall, very successful trip. May did great.
Made it so
Excellent
good.
first, like, legit camping trip for her. That was a big win. Great to figure that out. We learned a lot of things for our upcoming trip in October, which subscribe to the channel if you want to see those videos coming out. We're going to Utah, Arizona, very heavy focus on the Grand Canyon area. It's going to be great. So sub to the channel if you want to see that. This was a nice dry run for that. Figured out that our power system isn't where we needed to have it. Figured out that we weren't bringing enough water. Yeah, and we got to have a great time at Steens and enjoy the peace that we love out here in Eastern Oregon that has us coming back time and time again.
And get some fresh air and escape the smoke back home, which we're unfortunately going back into.
Yep.
But-
Got a break.
Yeah, but it was a good trip overall, and we're excited to go home happy. So thanks for watching, and stay wild.